Eno. So good to see you.
Hello, Sister Meg. How are you today?
Thank you for the invite. Okay, viewers, you're all welcome to EGFM Sisters Kitchen. We have our chief cook here, Sister Eno. We have lovely, yummy things that we are going to learn today. We are going to learn how to make vegetables. We are going to learn how to... What else are we cooking?
Jello Fries.
Jello Fries, wow! Okay, we are going to learn how to make Jello Fries. And how many types of vegetables are we making?
2. We have edikaikong and bitter leaf soup.
So yummy. And the beautiful thing about this is that we are going to make all of this without Maggi. That's going to be an awesome learning for us all.
Okay, before we start cooking this morning, I think we have to create a stock because we're not using Maggi to cook. And this is what we'll use for our stock.
Okay, beautiful. What is stock, Auntie?
Stock is what the liquid that comes from the cooking of beef or chicken or fish, which we use instead of the Maggi for our cooking.
Oh, beautiful. So it's not just the water. When we say liquid, so some people don't just go and pour water inside and say, oh, that's liquid.
No, not at all.
Okay, beautiful. So let us just watch and see how we create a very tasty stock that we would use for our cooking. So much.
So because a lot of us are used to cooking with Maggi, which has been our way of life.
Yeah.
So cooking without Maggi will taste bland sometimes.
Yeah.
So we will have to use more of onions and pepper. I don't necessarily use spices for my cooking because most times the stock that I have will be used for different types of food. If we're using the stock for soup, we don't need ginger and garlic in it.
Beautiful.
We will taste in the soup.
I hope somebody has heard that. Don't go and put ginger and garlic when you want to make vegetable. Okay, so why do we have this amount of onions? It looks really massive. Are we going to pour everything into our pot?
No, we're going to blend it first.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful.
And why we have so much is because of the quantity of meat we are cooking.
Okay.
So we have more beef and more chicken. So it depends on what you're cooking. Depends on the quantity of meat you're cooking. But we need lots of onions to actually bring out a nice taste in the stock.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
I can't wait to see this. Really, I really can't wait. So can we get started?
And before we start, here with me is shrimps, fresh shrimps. Because we don't use Maggi anymore, I use shrimps to bring out the taste of my cooking. To bring out the taste, because if I use dried, like crayfish has a taste, it has a smell, which will go into the meat. But with this, you wouldn't get the taste.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, well done, Ma. So, so we're going to blend the shrimps. Are we going to blend them separately or we're going to blend them?
We're blending them all together.
Okay, beautiful.
So we'll blend for each pot. So in the pot we have beef, and in the second pot we have chicken. So we'll blend for each pot.
Okay, so let's get started.
So we have onions. A bit of shrimps in it.
Beautiful.
To give it the taste.
Okay.
And then pepper.
Okay, now for this pepper for soup, can we use, there's this yellow Cameroon pepper. What do you think about that?
Yes. It just depends on how you want your food. There's no difference between, what I have here is habanero pepper.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same thing as the yellow pepper.
Okay.
So then...
These two, will it be enough for what we want to do?
Yes, for me, for the chicken and the beef. So we have to blend our pepper, onions, and shrimps to put in our chicken
Okay. Why are we doing this?
We're blending.
Yes, we are blending because we want to pour into our chicken.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have in here my chicken, which has already been washed.
Okay.
And so I pour in my mix, my pepper, onions, and shrimp mix.
Okay.
So stir it.
How long do we have that? How long can we, have this mixture?
The mixture, I don't.
Like, how long do we use it to marinate the meat, and how long should this stay?
It doesn't matter. It's just for, for the onions, pepper. I'm going to put it on fire.
Okay.
The chicken, with the blended onions and pepper. So immediately I'll put it on fire.
Okay, beautiful.
So most times or sometimes you could marinate and keep so that everything will go in, but it's still going to boil it. Yes.
Okay, so if we're to marinate this, how long can we put it in the fridge, or how long do we put it, for it to, for the whole ingredient to infuse into the chicken?
You could marinate overnight.
Overnight, beautiful.
You could.
Beautiful.
But because I personally steam my meat,
okay,
so I could just blend and then cook it at once.
Okay,
but if
so
you
you
want
steam
to
your meat before
infuse,
cooking?
no, I cook it. Most people don't cook their meat with things in it, like
Okay.
pepper and onions.
Okay.
So I put pepper and onions in my meat. So most times it's it's infused as you cook.
Oh, beautiful. I've just learned something. Hope we are all watching.
And so when you pour in your onions and pepper mix, it's always good to actually taste if it's salty enough for...
Okay, that reminds me, you didn't add salt at all.
No, I'm going to add salt now. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So for the young ones that are just cooking for the first time, how do they know the measurement of salt to put in each dish?
Well, that's for your taste buds
Okay.
to let you know. I don't measure by spoon. So when I put in, I stir it, taste it to be sure it's enough. And then I'll cover it. Most times people season their chicken or beef with lots of water. And that will not allow the seasoning to go in. So you notice that I actually blended my onions, pepper mix and poured it in, and I didn't have any water in it because the meat and the chicken has water in it. So that will steam and then take all the ingredients inside. And then later you can now create a stock by adding water.
That's very important. I hope we all heard that you are not to pour water while boiling your meat.
Exactly.
That's very important. So
Exactly.
it helps, the taste of the meat. It helps all the ingredients to be retained in our meat.
So this is for our beef stock.
Okay.
So we blend the same thing depending on what quantity of beef you have. So in here, I have 2 kilos of meat.
Okay.
So this is why I'm using a lot of onions so that the taste of the meat, because we don't use Maggi.
So if I may ask, must the onion blend and the pepper blend be very smooth?
Yes, please.
Okay. So in other words, those of us that don't have a blender, we cannot use a manual blender. Are we going to achieve the same result?
Yes, you will, but if you have to reduce your fire, because why I blended,
Okay.
is because the onions and pepper will be mixed properly. But you know when you cut up onions, it takes a while for it to break down before it starts to cook, you know. But this is already done, so.
Okay, so when we say Maggi, we actually mean Maggi is like a general word for seasoning cubes for us in Nigeria, in Africa, you know. So when we say Maggi, we are actually saying no seasoning cubes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so it's, of course, we know that it's not just Maggi we have as the only seasoning cube. So, but we are saying
Seasoning,
in this meal,
no seasoning cubes.
no seasoning cubes. And I think the taste has, from what I tasted, it's really good.
Because of the shrimps.
Because of the shrimps. I've learned that one. For people that cannot afford, because I know that shrimps could be very pricey. For people that cannot afford to buy shrimps, what other local spices and herbs can we put together? Just to mention a few, you know.
There are other local spices that could be used to cook different things.
Okay.
Like dawa dawa,
Okay.
like ogiri.
Okay.
But we want to keep that as a secret because we'll have another season where we'll be able to use all these things.
Hooray!
And so people will be able to learn how to cook
to
with different
combine
other,
those.
yes, to make it nice.
I'm sure we'll be expectant to see that. So watch out for season 2. Thank you.
That's our chicken boiling.
Okay.
And this is our beef that just went on fire.
Both of them smelling real good.
Thank you. The chicken cooked in its own stock and now it's a bit dry, so I need to add water to create stock for what we want to cook. We want to make Jello Fries. After all our stock is ready now. Okay, here we have our stock, meat stock, rice, this 3 cup measure of rice, which is a derica of rice. This is onions. This is our shrimps. Tatashe, garlic, vegetable oil, ginger, pepper, salt, adobo. This is salt too, but this is spice salt, and that's onion powder and butter.
This looks very interesting. So like on a normal, we're all raised to have, when we think Jello Fries, we think tomatoes, we think tin tomato, and we don't have any of that here. So how, in the first instance, is our rice going to be red?
Yes.
Okay, I really wanting to see how our rice will be red without tin tomatoes. So I'm sure we're all eager to also know that, isn't it? Okay, so that's beautiful. So why do we have this amount of tatashe?
I use tatashe only for my rice. I don't use tomatoes because personally, tomato is a bit tangy.
Okay.
And then from trying out different things, I realized that with tatashe only, I can achieve a very good Jello Fries.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all want to learn and see how would you have beautiful Jello Fries with just
Tatashe.
Well,
So let's begin. So we'll blend our tatashe, onions, shrimps,
Okay.
and then pour into a pot.
Another thing that we need to know is that our tatashe has to, the proportion between the tatashe and...
So for me, cooking is a passion. It's not it's not in the measuring.
Okay.
So it's in I think I have it in my head. For now, the tatashe will serve as tomato, that's the tomato paste.
Okay.
And maybe the normal tomatoes if we were going to use tomato, and then onions. Why we add so much onions in the tatashe is because the tatashe is not so sweet. So if you cook it with less onions, it will not be nice.
Okay.
So the onions quantity should be a lot, just to make sure that the tatashe is sweet.
So is it the same proportion of tatashe that would have as same proportion of tatashe to, what's the ratio between tatashe to onions?
That's very tricky. That's very tricky. It looks the same, but I don't think it's the same. Because this tatashe is already frozen. We took it out of the freezer. So, and then, took out all the seeds and then bagged them in the freezer.
Yeah.
So when you put them, if it wasn't frozen, this would be a lot more than the onions.
Yeah.
So I'm
viewers,
not sure.
We should know that how to take off, while cooking with tatashe, we take off the seed, from inside our tatashe, like what we have
Yes,
here.
why we take off our seeds is because the seed is quite bitter. So if you leave your seed in, your jollof rice will be bitter.
Okay.
So we take out the seeds and then try as much as possible to take out the green part. Don't add it.
Okay.
So you want to achieve a red, nice looking jollof rice. So let's look for tatashe that is quite red.
Okay.
No greenish part on it.
This looks very interesting.
So with the tatashe, I add a lot of garlic. I like garlic to give it that jollof rice.
Okay.
So I'll add water. I'll blend everything together, but I'll need to blend this down.
Okay.
While I keep adding the other things. So another thing we need to take note is that, we have here basmati rice.
Okay.
And basmati rice does not, it doesn't like too much water. So we need to be careful of the amount of water. But you can cook with any other rice.
Okay.
And you can notice that I don't parboil my rice. I cook it straight.
Okay, is it because it's basmati rice?
No,
or if you're going to use any kind of rice, you won't parboil? Yeah,
with all my rice, I cook it all straight.
Okay.
Except for fried rice.
Okay. Sister, I can see that you added garlic to this. Okay, so but I know that there are different types of garlic. So which they said one is more potent or stronger than the other
in flavor.
So which one, if we are going to go to the market, which type of garlic should we look for?
Personally, I prefer what is easy for me to do. It's not the smaller one is quite potent.
Okay.
But because of time.
Okay.
Time management for me, I prefer to buy the bigger ones, which is easier for me to peel and put in the freezer. Okay, but the smaller ones, yes.
Are a lot better.
Yes.
So if we have the smaller ones.
When you say better, it's just the potency.
Okay.
It's not that but it's still garlic.
Okay, so do we, because buying the smaller ones now, do we reduce the quantity if we're using the smaller ones?
It's preference for me. Okay. Garlic, ginger is preference. It's not the quantity of garlic I put in here, and someone might not like garlic. Someone might not eat ginger. So it's just, my way of cooking jollof fries. But because we are not adding a lot of seasoning cubes and stuff like that, so I add garlic. Okay. I like the taste of garlic. Some people don't like the taste of garlic, so they might reduce their garlic intake. Okay. Some people might not like too much ginger. It affects some people. Okay. So they can reduce that too.
Okay. So if such people that don't like it, what do they use as alternative?
For their jollof rice? That's a good question. So there are other spices.
Okay.
There are other spices to be used. I use, sometimes I use rosemary. Okay. In my jollof rice. Okay. And it depends on my mood for the time. Okay. So I use rosemary for some of my... Nutmegs? No, I don't use nutmeg in my... Okay. Because the flavor of nutmeg is very strong. So it would take away the natural taste of jollof rice. Okay. And when you use things like rosemary, it will now turn it towards not Nigerian. Yeah, to a continental yes, exactly.
Dish. So do we use when you use rosemary, do you still add thyme to it?
I don't use thyme. I just add everything. I still put rosemary in it.
Rosemary in it. So
it depends on how I feel for the time when I'm cooking.
That's beautiful. Okay, I can also see here that you added the ginger with the back.
I thought you...
Guys, I'm just seeing this for the first time. So tell us more about this.
Okay, for ginger with the back, most times when we buy ginger from the markets, we bring it back home and then wash everything properly and then toss it in the oven, in the freezer.
In the freezer.
So, and you've seen online everywhere where they say the back of ginger is good, back of many things is good. Okay. So we add that. It wouldn't show in the rice because it's frozen. Yeah. For example, because of what we're doing, that's why I'm blending. Normally, I take it out straight from the freezer and then we just grate. And so when we grate it, I'll show you what it looks like after we grate. So that's it.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see the back.
Yes. So it almost looks like the powder garlic and ginger.
Exactly.
Okay. So, but for someone that doesn't like fresh ginger, doesn't like fresh garlic, can the person use the powdered ones?
Exactly. But the potency is not as strong as using natural. So we're all going natural. Everyone is going natural.
So people who don't like the garlic and ginger at all, so do you think that they
could use dried ginger or dried garlic, but we know that it's not going to be as potent as using the fresh ones. Yes.
Okay, that's so beautiful. Lots of learning for us today.
Okay, that's my shrimp. This is my seasoning cube.
That's your trade secret.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to blend the mix to be very, very smooth so you don't see patches in the rice when you're cooking. So that's how smooth we want it.
Wow,
very smooth.
Very smooth.
Yes.
It's so beautiful.
So please could you give me a hand?
Really smooth.
So rather than use water to keep blending, so I don't add too much water to my food, I'll use my meat stock.
Oh, beautiful.
So that my rice will not be soggy. Oops. So for this quantity of tatashe,
I think it's
the cover. Okay. We use a lot of onions for Jello Fries so that the rice will not be, because of the tatashe is not sweet. But if it is bell pepper is sweet. So there are different types of pepper.
so can we use bell pepper for it?
Yes, you can, but it's quite expensive. Exactly.
Can someone mix bell pepper and tatashe?
Of course. Depends on your pocket. But it will make it really sweet.
It will make it really sweet. Okay.
Make it sweet.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because bell pepper is quite sweet.
Yes, it's
but
sweet.
But not every color, just red.
The red.
Yes. In here now, with the last blend of onions and a bit of habanero pepper. So I add a little pepper to my mix. The habanero pepper is quite strong.
Wow.
So I add a bit of pepper to my mix because I like pepper. Okay. So for people who don't like pepper, there's no point adding pepper to it. Wow. And then there's something else I would like to talk about, because when there's different seasons for tatashe.
Okay.
We have the seasons where they are really, really, really big, and then they have the seasons where they're really tiny.
Yeah.
So those times when they're tiny, they're a bit very peppery.
Wow, that's tatashe.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you don't take out all the bits of seeds, your rice will be really, really hot.
Wow.
But now it won't make any sense because it's really grown now.
Okay.
So when we have the different seasons for our tatashe, we need to, know the quantity of pepper we add so it doesn't get too hot.
Okay.
So that's my last blend. And then I put my lid on. So we don't just put the rice in it. It's possible to put your rice in it straight up, but I like to boil my mix first. Bring it to a boil before adding my rice. Add all my seasonings, taste it, be sure it's okay, then I put my rice.
Okay. We also noticed that there's this other long pepper we call shombo.
Yes.
Yeah, we noticed that you didn't add it.
No, I don't use shombo at all because it's very bitter.
It's bitter.
I've tried it before, it's bitter.
Okay, so we should just try it for very nice and tasty jollof rice. We should be able to take.
Yes, except you have the patience to cut up the shombo, take out all the seeds, and make sure that no seed is in it.
Okay.
Because shombo seeds are quite bitter. I've tried it before, but it's bitter.
But a season where, because actually right now, I think tatashes are actually quite pricey.
Pricey?
Yeah, from the market. So seasons where, we usually have fluctuations in prices. So can someone add shombo to the tatashe mix?
Yes, you can.
You just have to take
out all the seed. And then you can use tomato.
Okay.
Because I know why I cook it this way is because of the tangy taste of tomato. But with tomatoes, you have to parboil it.
Oh, beautiful. So
if you parboil your tomato and then, blend it with onions, parboil it completely, then you can use your meat stock to cook it. Okay. So, it tastes, maybe parboil like you're parboiling for stew.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it dry up all the water.
Tomato is a no-no.
Yes, it's not tomato is a no-no. For me, I like the taste of tatashe.
It's better than the taste
with tomato. Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I'll need to add more rice to what we have there because from our blend, like I said, basmati rice does not really do well with lots of water. So, but if it's the normal rice, I would have just put it straight in. But with the basmati,
if it's normal rice, you just put straight in.
I'll put the same quantity, and then it won't soak up the water. But with this basmati, too much water, the rice will get too soggy. So if you are cooking normal rice, you have to keep checking your water and adding it.
For rice, people say that they parboil to reduce the starch in rice. What's your take on that?
I like my rice 1-1.
Okay,
So I don't.
If you don't parboil the rice, it comes out 1-1.
Yes. Okay. If you parboil your rice and then we cook it, like cooking the first time and cooking again, so the rice will become very soggy. I like my rice long and not too soft.
Okay, that's for jollof rice.
Jollof rice, fried rice, I don't like it too soggy. Okay. So that's why I spend so much time washing and washing. You know, we parboil and then we wash it off. But I spend so much time. If you look at the water, it's still not clear. So I'll wash it until the water is clear before I put in my food. A bit of oil.
Okay, so we are not frying our pepper. We are not frying.
No. And then I want to add, I use butter in my rice.
Okay.
So it's not really necessary.
Okay, so what's the use of the butter?
For me, the butter gives it a really nice taste.
Okay.
But it's not necessary if you can't afford it. Okay. So your oil is just okay for you. Okay, but I use butter in my rice to give me that nice flavor.
Okay. So this butter now, should it be salted?
It's unsalted. Okay. It could be salted butter. Okay. It could be unsalted butter if you have. Okay. But what I have here is slightly salted.
Okay. So, but could that affect the taste of salt?
No. This what I have here is adobo salt.
Okay.
Because adobo salt has spices in it.
Okay.
So this is just normal
normal salt.
Salt.
I can help with that.
Thank you. Okay. So we are adding all our spices in our pots before we add our rice. Adobo salt. I like it. I add a bit of oil so that the rice will cook out.
So if I may ask, how long will this pepper mix cook before we start adding the oil?
Just for it to boil out, finish. You don't have to.
So it doesn't have to cook and cook.
No. Just for it to boil out. And then you add your rice.
So if I may, so just like between 7 to 10 minutes?
It depends on the quantity. I can't say 10 minutes, I can't say 7. When you put your pepper mix, put it on the fire. When you open your pot, you will see whether it's boiling or it's not boiling. Once it's boiling, you add all your ingredients. Sometimes it's not in the adding of ingredients before or after. Okay. So sometimes I add all my ingredients, stir it, keep it to boil, then put my rice. Oh. So it doesn't matter whether you add it before or after it boils. Okay. So what you need to know is to make sure that the ingredients in the mix tastes really nice.
Okay.
And then you add your rice.
Okay. So for I know that I don't know about attaché, but some people just feel that there's this sharp taste once the
Okay, so
mix.
I'll give you some to taste.
Okay.
Tell us.
Okay.
Is there any sharp taste? We're Africans.
Yes.
Any sharp taste?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Beautiful.
Thank you. So we're adding our rice. I'm not sure I'll add everything, but I will check it, the quantity of rice and the water.
Okay.
So this is still too much stock. And this is still too much stock. So meaning we can add everything. So I can tell if there's too much stock. You see, it's running.
Yeah.
The rice and the stock in it. So rice, jollof rice without oil will not come out well. So I always add oil to my rice so that it won't stick together.
Okay.
So that's it.
So with this consistency, it's okay.
It tastes okay.
Okay.
And so it tastes just okay. Do you want to taste? Do you want us to add more salt?
I think it's for salt. I think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't feel the pepper though.
There's no pepper.
I can't feel the pepper.
No pepper.
But for the salt, I think the salt is fine.
But it will come out at the end.
Okay.
We'll taste it. So
So
let's.
at this point where I can't feel pepper, and I want to add pepper too.
You could just blend a pepper and put inside.
Oh, we could blend pepper and put it directly.
Yes, and just
We
stir.
can add grounded pepper to it.
You just grind your pepper. Normally, you could use
no.
the what's it called? The dry part
Dry
of your
pepper.
blender,
Okay.
and blend your rodo and pour in it. I don't use dry pepper in the food
Oh, really? Okay.
because it all adds taste to the meal. So I want to steam the rice rather than cook it.
Then cook it. Okay.
Yes.
So this is a foil paper.
This foil. So I'm going to cover my pot. But I'll reduce my fire and allow it to steam.
Okay. That will be very nice. I really anticipate the outcome of this. There's this general mindset that, we need to fry our pepper dry for us to have that smoky jollof rice. So, what's your take on that?
For smoky jollof rice, I don't think frying it. The trick in achieving a smoky jollof rice is for your rice to burn.
Yeah.
If you cook your rice and it burns, because it's foiled, the under will burn. It brings out the smoky taste in your rice.
Okay.
For me, and that's how I've been cooking.
Okay.
But frying tomato, you kill it and kill it and kill it before you now come and kill it again. I think, and then you fry tomato, it becomes dark red.
Yeah.
I don't cook my tomato like that. But it's still okay for anyone who wants to achieve that.
Okay.
For the purpose of what we are doing is to showcase how we cook without seasoning cubes.
Yeah.
And try to see how we cook healthy and not overcook our meals.
Yeah.
Because it's in the overcooking that all the nutrients are gone.
Yeah.
So, like what we have here now, we had just tatashe, it was parboiled a bit, and then we added our rice. So, and then the ingredients in the tatashe will, marinate with the rice, and then you have it all inside. Imagine parboiling, we parboil the tatashe, then we come and fry it before we now add the rice. I think the purpose of
would have been defeated.
Exactly.
I've learned that one today. I hope we all have learned one thing or the other. So it's possible to have your, sumptuous jollof rice without frying and frying and frying and frying. You also talked about the aspect of the tomatoes. For those that want to use tomato. So could you just give us a brief tip?
Okay, to use tomato is still the same thing, onions. Okay. Tomato is
acidic.
Yeah, very acidic, and it's not very sweet like peppers. Yeah. So if we want to cook with tomato, same thing, make sure your onions are still a lot.
Okay.
No, the onions will enhance the taste of the tomato.
Okay.
And you parboil your mix before you add your oil.
Okay.
So that before you add even the what's it called, meat stock.
Okay.
So with tomato, what I do, I blend but I'll still add tatashe.
Okay.
Just for the redness, because tomato is not so red.
So in other words, in your jollof rice, you don't add tin tomato?
No, not at all.
Beautiful.
I don't eat tin tomatoes at all.
That's beautiful. That's
health-wise, no tin tomatoes.
No tin tomato. Sure, we are learning that. Okay, that's beautiful. So you said you boil. You
parboil.
Parboil.
Then add your oil, or if you want to fry.
No, let's not go frying. Let's
just parboil.
Let's upgrade.
Yeah, so you blend your mix.
Okay.
Boil it.
Okay.
And then you add your oil. Okay. And then add all your spices. Taste it. You know when to add your rice. Okay. But if you can parboil your tomato mix and then cook it again with the rice, I think that makes it a tastier rice than just boiling, blending tomato and putting in fire, add your rice. You won't get it.
Yeah, and by the way, our rice is already smelling very good.
And so this is where we achieve our smoky jollof rice.
Okay.
So when you cook rice and it burns under, the burnt part under now comes up and it, engulfs the rice. It makes it smell like smoky jollof rice.
Okay. But
let me show you what the rice looks like now.
Okay. So do we stir it at this point?
Just at the side.
Okay.
You can see that with basmati rice is already cooked.
So at this point,
I can feel under the pot it's getting burnt.
Okay. So at this point, do you increase the?
No, just leave it at low heat. Okay. This rice is good at low heat. It will cook out until it comes out one grain. If you increase the fire, it will burn, and half of your rice will be gone. And with any other rice anyways.
With any other rice.
Because you have tatashe, it's not just white rice. Imagine cooking white rice and then you stir it. What happens?
Yeah, you start getting burnt.
Exactly. So that's it for our rice.
All right, so this has been a whole lot of learning and unlearning for me. I'm super, 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 super excited.
Thank you.
So healthy living all the way.
Okay, so I think our rice is ready. Let's see. Ooh. So we have our jollof rice ready for consumption.
Great.
So do we taste?
This looks real good already. Okay. Guys, this tastes really good. Yes. Jello fries without tin tomatoes, without seasoning cubes is
Possible.
achievable. Thank you.
You like it?
Beautiful. Very nice.
To wash our water leaf
Okay.
for our both edicaricum and bitter leaf.
Okay.
So this has been plucked already,
Okay.
and you don't have to add too much of the
Stem.
The stem. If not, you will have a lot of sticks in your soup. So we cut it out of the stem this small. So we wash your leaves. You have all the loose sands going to the bottom of the bowl. So shake off all your vegetables and make sure.
So it's important to use a bowl that is twice the size of your vegetable,
Yes,
so you have enough space.
Yes. Take that out. First wash. You check on that you feel
Sand, yeah.
underneath the bowl.
So you don't just wash vegetable once and you say the vegetable is clean.
You keep washing until you have the consistency, and then ensure that there's no sand at the base of your bowl. So we wash this until, so maybe 2-3 times, depending on the weather. You know, sometimes dry season is really dusty, rainy season is really sandy, so it depends on the season, but try and wash out your vegetable so you don't have anything attached to it when you're cooking or cutting it. So there's no sand underneath.
There's no sand underneath, okay.
And I think that is it.
Okay.
So after I wash my vegetable, I cut it.
Okay.
For edicaricum, bitter leaf, the type of bitter leaf I want to cook,
Okay.
the water leaf should be cut very thinly, thin slices.
Okay. So what are the kind of...
A sharp knife.
Okay. So what kind of... what other soup do you make that informs the size of your cutting of the water leaf?
And we have afang.
Okay.
Same process.
Okay, it should be cut thinly.
The last thing you add is afang. The last thing you add in this one will be vegetable ugu. The other one will be bitter leaf.
Bitter leaf, okay.
So you have to cut thinly.
Wow, this is really thin.
Yes, so be careful with your fingers, please.
Okay.
So that's how
you cut the
water leaf.
water leaf. Beautiful.
This is our vegetable leaf called ugu.
Okay.
So which is what we use with the water leaf to make our
Edicaricum. Okay.
So this has been washed already.
Okay.
And
The same process that we used to wash, the same way we washed the what do you call it? The water leaf.
Yes.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
So this is how we cut our vegetable ugu.
Oh, okay.
And
This has a...
If not, you still have the same way you have all the stock in the soup.
Okay.
You don't want that much in your soup.
Okay.
So you cut it out.
So this has a little bit of more stock than the water leaf.
Yes, this is a tougher leaf than the
A
water
tougher leaf. Okay.
That will even melt, but this
Okay.
wouldn't as much.
Okay.
Okay, so this is my ugu. Same process. Must be cut thinly. If not, you won't achieve what is called a dikaikon. If not, it will become vegetable soup, not a dikaikon.
Okay. How did you learn this one? It looks like something that they, those market women, the way they cook, they cut their vegetable in the market. I'm sure it must be years of experience.
Growing up, you have to take turns in the kitchen.
To cut vegetable.
To cook for the house.
Wow. Yeah, and that is fast fading out in our generation.
Yes.
A lot of young people don't know how to cook anymore.
So. We're going to be making 2 soups.
Wow.
We have the edikaikong and bitter leaf soup.
Okay.
What we have here is fish, bitter leaf. This is water leaf that was cut and put in the freezer.
So it's possible to put water leaf in the freezer or
yes.
any vegetable?
Any vegetable could be cut up, put in the freezer.
Okay.
But because of what we're doing now, that's why I brought them out. But normally, you don't bring it out until it's time to put it straight in the pot.
Into the pot, okay.
So that it retains its color.
Okay.
So because when you bring it out of the freezer, it starts changing.
Okay.
We have our stock. This is our beef stock, water leaf. So what's peculiar with what we have here? We have a edikaikong and bitter leaf.
Bitter leaf, yeah.
The only difference in the vegetable is the bitter
leaf and the ugu. Yeah.
But everything is the same.
The same, okay.
So the difference we have is ugu, but every other thing remains the same.
Okay.
So in our pot, we have stockfish and nkonko, which is called hammer in English. You can Google it.
Okay.
So this is like periwinkle. Some people use the one with the shell. Oh, this one you can't eat it with the shell. But they have the periwinkle that you can eat with the shell. But I prefer using nkonko. So for today we're going to be using nkonko.
So do we either use, can we still have periwinkle with this?
Yes.
You can have, is either this or periwinkle?
No, you can have anything you want in your soup.
Okay.
It's your pocket. If you want to put periwinkle, put nkonko, put snail, put dry, anything you want.
Okay.
You can use it to make your soup.
Okay.
So we have our pomo, crayfish. This is blended bonga fish. Why do we have blended bonga fish? For taste.
Okay.
Because we are not using stock.
Okay.
We're not using stock cube.
Yeah.
So we're going to be using bonga fish, and we're still going to be blending our shrimps into it too.
Okay.
To bring out the taste of our soup. And so we have salt, and we have pepper and onions.
Okay.
Normally, you don't put onions in vegetable because of the ability for it to cause the soup to be watery. But I'm going to use the onions and pepper to cook my stockfish and pomo and nkonko since it's still fresh.
Okay.
So that will help us a bit.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Well, none for now. So this pomo has already been cleaned?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start cooking.
All right, then.
We're always looking for that thing. Okay.
So we're going to blend our onions and pepper and put in our.
So since it's soup, what amount of onions do we put here?
Just a little, just to season that stockfish.
Okay.
You already have your
Your
meat
stock.
Yeah.
So, but is it possible to still use the meat stock instead of blending another one?
Yeah, for me, I think because we are really taking out a lot of the Maggi,
The stock cubes.
stock cube, so we need to make our base very sweet.
Okay.
Onions will add to the taste of the soup.
Okay.
So we can't still rely only on our meat stock.
Okay.
So because this is fresh,
Yeah.
it's not being cooked. The
Okay.
stockfish and then conco and the pomo.
Okay.
So this is like creating another stock
Stock.
from here.
Okay.
And then adding that.
Okay.
So I'm adding my shrimps to my pepper mix.
Oh, you're just going to pour that for just one of the soups?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is vegetable soup and you need all the taste. If not, it won't be nice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add onions and pepper again.
Okay. So, for someone that doesn't take momo, for instance,
Then you take it out.
okay.
can
So,
cook with
so
whatever
what would be the base? Can one start with? Can one? Careful. Sorry. Can one start with? One start with using the? Can one start with using the meat base?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can.
Okay.
I just want to cook this.
Okay.
You can add the meat stock if you don't have any of these things.
Okay.
But because we are addicted to tasty meals,
Yeah.
we're trying to make it as tasty as possible without our stock cake.
Okay.
So I could add the meat stock to blend my onions.
Okay. I should open it.
So here is another mix of pepper, onions, and shrimps. We'll leave that to cook for a while.
Okay.
This is really ready. Sometimes I go in with my palm oil.
Oh, okay. Immediately.
Palm oil will cook. Yes.
Okay.
Palm oil and the vegetable soup. And for those who don't like, who have health issues and wouldn't eat lots of oil, it's still okay to eat as little oil as possible.
Okay. Okay. How long does it take? How long does it take? How do we know that the?
It will take a long time for it.
Okay. So, but how are we going to know that it's cooked?
Just a little steaming of the goggot because it's still going to cook in the soup as we progress. We're going
Okay.
to add the water leaf, add the crayfish, still be cooking.
Okay.
So I just want it to boil. So we want to check our pot now. Okay, I think it's time to add our water leaf to it.
Okay. Okay, but this water is not so much for the water leaf.
Well, no.
Okay.
It's going to cook in it.
Okay. So that's enough quantity.
That's enough quantity for the.
So what's the proportion of water leaf to ugu?
The ugu should be more than the water leaf.
Oh, really?
Because the water leaf secretes more
water. Okay.
So the ugu should be more than the water leaf.
Okay.
If not, you have the soup.
A running stew, a running soup. Oh.
Not only running, it wouldn't be. Most times, edikaikon should be dry, rather watery.
Yeah.
So, but you have the water leaf more than the vegetable. The vegetable will not be able to soak up the water.
That's
so
true.
You have lots of water in it.
Okay.
And most times, edikaikon has oil.
Okay.
But like I said, for those who don't eat oil, it's okay to cook your edikaikon without so much oil.
With so much oil. Okay. This looks very interesting. Okay. That is boiling also.
Yes, it is. And I'd like us to add water leaf.
Water leaf. So the frozen leaf doesn't make the vegetable more watery.
Yeah, like I said, if we brought this out just because of what we're doing. Normally, you're meant to leave it in your freezer until the time you're going to put it in the pot.
Okay.
If you bring it out, it's going to start changing color.
Okay.
And becoming watery. So if, for the sake of those who will be watching and listening and who want to try at home, and you're a busy woman and you need to, get your food done in less than 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
When you cut up your leaves and put them in the freezer, it's only when
You
it's time
want
to
to
put it in the pot.
Wow.
You bring it out, look for a stick, break it up a bit, pour it in, cover it, and then you have a green leaf, without discoloration.
Okay. So how do we know when our water leaf is cooked?
So now with the water leaf in, I want to bring in our protein. So we have beef. We could add snails. If you don't eat beef, you want to use chicken to cook it. Depends on your choice.
Okay.
So for this purpose, we're using beef to cook. So we're going to add our beef to the food.
Okay.
And then later on add our dry fish.
Okay.
It's a quick process because it's not like, after 5 minutes you add this. Everything goes in at once. Then, soup is ready.
So like I asked earlier, is it possible for us to start our base with the beef?
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to cook my stockfish with something else.
Okay.
And then it's time to add our crayfish.
Okay.
This is too little crayfish. I will add more. So this is blended
Bonga fish.
This is crayfish.
Okay.
But I'm still going to go ahead and add more crayfish to our soup because we are not adding
Seasoning cubes.
Seasoning cubes.
Okay.
Fish. Thank you. This is just for taste, not necessary. If you don't have it, you don't have to use it. At this point, I want to bring in my ugu vegetable.
Okay.
There's a trick with the ugu, so when you put the ugu, you don't stir it.
Oh, really?
You cover it up and let it steam.
Really?
Because if you stir it and keep stirring it, the leaves will be wilt. So we cover it up. The steam will cook through, and then we turn it and bring it down.
Oh, really?
So this will take probably 10 minutes, and the soup is ready.
Oh, I thought we'll have to stir and stir and stir to have the mixture.
No.
Okay. Okay, that's
so like
beautiful.
I said, edikaiko requires a lot of oil.
Okay.
And for those who don't eat oil,
yeah.
So, do you want us to add more oil? Or do you
No,
want
I think that's good. Let's leave it the healthy way.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's go to our
Bitter leaf soup.
Same thing here.
Okay.
We'll add our protein.
Okay.
I did add our dry fish in the
Edikaiko
because it's already very, very soft. In case, if we add it now,
okay,
and then we stir,
it would break.
Scatter, yes.
Okay.
So I added it at the point I'm stirring.
Okay, but won't it have that taste? That's I don't know.
It depends on the dry fish.
Okay.
Some dry fish you can put it in while you're cooking. Because it's really dry.
Okay.
This is called panla.
Okay.
It's really soft.
It's soft.
So
okay.
the moment you put it in the soup,
that's it.
That's it, exactly.
Okay.
Panla is called hake.
Egg, yeah.
In English. For those who don't know what panla is, who are not Yoruba.
Ẹja kíká.
So
okay.
Add our crayfish.
So I noticed that we didn't add more stock to this food.
Because the soup is already very watery.
Okay. Okay. So the rule there.
I created stock already from the beginning.
From the beginning.
So
okay.
if I didn't create that second one, you would have just used the stock itself.
Okay.
So, but I used the stock to blend the onions and pepper.
Yeah. Okay. That's true.
If you notice, I add a lot of crayfish.
Yeah.
In our soup.
No seasoning cubes.
You can see the vegetable. It's not like the way you put it before.
Yes. Okay.
I'm
sorry. Sorry.
Not overcooked. Just the way you want it to be. So now I'll take it off.
Okay. Okay. Should you just put it here?
what happens is that I'm going to turn out the vegetable from the pot.
Okay.
Why? Because you'll continue cooking.
Oh.
It's still in the pot because the pot is hot.
Oh.
So once you're done, you bring it down as soon as you need to pour it into something else.
Wow.
To stop the cooking.
Okay.
To stop it from cooking, the pot is already hot.
Okay.
So if you leave it in the pot, it keeps cooking and then it will change color. But if you take it out of the pot,
Okay.
it will stop cooking.
Okay.
So I'll pour it into this other pot.
So when you're at home, you should scoop it. Don't pour it like this. Okay.
So we have our vegetable soup called the Ikan ready. Less oil and less water.
Okay.
Like I said, it's the same process.
The same process.
With the vegetable, Ikan.
Okay.
This one is that we're using bitter leaf at the end.
Okay, so this one, will the bitter leaf be more than the, the first time you said the ugu should be more?
No, this one is just you keep putting and checking.
Okay, and here we stir.
You stir, yes, while we put it in.
Okay.
But you need a little oil.
Okay.
Just to
So can this be more fluid running compared to the edikaikon?
No.
It should be the same consistency.
Yeah, almost the same consistency.
Okay.
So afang, edikaikon, and bitter leaf soup. But they have different types of different ways of cooking edikaikon.
Yeah.
So bitter leaf soup.
Okay.
So this is the Calabar way.
Okay.
This is how we cook bitter leaf soup in my place.
Okay.
But you have the way the Igbo people cook their bitter leaf.
Yeah.
So they don't use the 2 leaves, they just use bitter leaf.
Just bitter leaf.
Then they add other things.
Cocoyam. Ogiri.
Ogiri, yes.
Okay.
So I think this is just okay. For those who really like bitter leaf, you can add it. I don't like too much bitter leaf in my soup. So for those who really want to eat bitter leaf, you can add as much as you want. Depending on how you can tolerate it.
Okay.
So I think our soup is ready.
Very fast and very...
Exactly. It's the label is in the preparation.
Is in the preparation.
So once you're ready
Done.
to put it in the pot, it's quick.
It's very quick.
And easy. Yes, so our bitter leaf soup is ready.
Okay.
Our vegetable soup is ready.
Okay. So for the bitter leaf soup, do we need to, once it's ready, do we need to transfer it?
With every
Also,
soup you cook.
With every soup?
Because it will keep cooking.
Oh, really? Really?
Keep cooking. Except you want to cook it and serve it straight away.
Straight, okay.
But if you cook it and leave it, it will keep cooking.
To keep cooking, okay.
So with every soup you cook, as you finish cooking, you need to
dish out.
Pack them up.
Okay.
If not, it keeps cooking. And especially with vegetables,
vegetable
will wilt and then it changes color. Our bitter leaf soup is ready.
Okay.
It looks almost the same as the pineapple. It's very important.
You come.
Wow, this food looks so green, looks so natural, looks so delicious. I don't know.
Oh my God, what is going on here?
Oh, you're welcome, Sister Chichi.
Thank you.
We'll have you to taste our beautiful food.
Surely. What soup is this?
Edikaiko.
Okay. Oh, wow. It's something I'm chewing.
What's that?
Could it be conker?
Yes, we added that.
The greens are still very crunchy.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Good job, our cook.
Oh my goodness. I so love it. I can taste the crayfish. It seems as if there's some fishy thing going on in the background. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's not overly salted.
Exactly.
This is amazing.
And can you guess what? There's no seasoning cube in here.
No, you're kidding.
No seasoning cube at all.
It doesn't seem like it.
Mm.
Because a lot of times we grew up using seasoning cubes to make soups.
Yeah.
And when you're being more health conscious,
Yeah.
it poses a challenge because you're not even, how do I make soup without using seasoning cubes? This is beautiful. I love it. I could eat this all day long.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm not aware of adding water leaf to bitter leaf soup.
Yes. I just learnt this one too from Auntie Eno. She said, it's the is it Calabar, the Akwa Ibom way of making bitter leaf soup. Yeah, so I just also learned this today, and I'm super excited. How does it taste?
The flavors are totally different.
Wow.
This is I can taste the bitterness from the bitter leaf.
Okay.
Is it really bitter?
It's not really bitter, but it's there.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's not overpowering,
Okay.
but I can taste it.
Okay.
Does it have a sweet aftertaste?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Maybe when you have water.
Okay.
Or when I take water, it would turn sweet.
Exactly. That's what bitter leaf does to your taste buds after you eat.
Oh, really? Really? I didn't know that.
The two taste profiles are different.
Wow.
And with this one, I could taste a lot of fishy elements.
Okay.
Crayfish.
Okay.
But with the bitter leaf soup, I taste the bitter leaf.
Okay. Okay. So I want to say that it's so possible to cook without seasoning cubes and still have very tasty meals.
And the bitter leaf was also made without seasoning cubes.
The bitter leaf was made without seasoning cubes.
Oh, wow. Where have you been all my life? You need to come to my kitchen, please. Chef Eno.
My pleasure.
This is beautiful.
Very
beautiful.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.